I always close my eyes.
I'm going to start. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the fiscal year 2019 tax classification hearing. Mark Twain once wrote, "I am not one of those who in expressing opinions confine themselves to facts." But for our meeting tonight, the facts don't lie. Our values have gone up close to $60 million in value for the city of Holyoke. Most of the push has come from single-family and 2- and 3-family home sales, resulting in a total value of $2.156 billion for a total in the city. With the increase in value, the city will be allowed to collect an extra $1.2 million compared to the $195,000 we collected for fiscal year 2018. Our total levy can be $1.491 million, with growth included at $407,000. With home sales pushing our values for 2019, the trend seems likely to continue for FY 2020. We did have in your packet that I've handed out, and for all the counselors, I did put them on their desk. Residential this year is 72%, commercial 22%, industrial is 3.6, and personal property roughly 1.8. That'll equal the 100%. As you know, we've been pushing more and more residential value over the past few years, where the increase has been significantly on the residential side. Our growth for this year was mostly for single families. We did push up our single families 3.9%. 2 and 3 families 5.2%. And commercial property was 1%. Industrial maintained the same value percentage-wise as last year. And overall, we've had an increase, close to, 9% for the singles and the 2 and the 3 family properties. If there's any questions from the council or from the audience, we'd just like you to state your name and come on up and say either address or business that you own in the city, and we'll gladly answer any concerns or questions. Thank you. I just wanted to note that Joe McGivern, council, Linda Vacon, Peter Tallman, and Mike Sullivan are in attendance for our meeting. Any questions? Or Joe, anything? Go ahead.
If I could, Tony, on the levy limit and the new growth, what is, if any, additional revenue can the city raise?
Well, with free cash not being certified yet and budget not finalized, I would have to say that he's going to probably use the total allowed levy value, which is probably close to $1,490,000.
And is that an increase from last year?
Yeah, it's an increase of like 1.2 million from the previous year. Last year we collected 195,000 in levy. This year it's going to be close to 1.49.
And What percentage would that be in terms of Prop 2.5?
Well, the values that we had allowed us to go up to that 1.491. The total from last year, 52, plus those two figures, the 1.3, which is on our levy limit page, and the growth, allow us to go to the 53. So we're going up to our levy limit.
So
Yeah,
we can take the 2.5%.
yeah.
So we're no longer at the ceiling.
No, I think it's just a little less than with the growth. I think there's some money that's not involved with the growth. So we did have a significant increase in levy limit allowed this year.
Thank you.
Yeah. Peter, anything? Linda? Yeah.
Thanks. I was just a little bit confused
Yeah.
when I was looking at the second category and it talked about the new growth of 407,000.
Right.
Because I guess I thought it was going to be a lot higher than that based on what we had been hearing. But is that because of the lag?
Well, the new growth also, you have properties that are torn down that we lose in value from those.
Okay, so it's a net.
Yeah, it's a net value.
I just thought that would be more.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we did have some really good projects that came on, the Marcotte, Cubit will be on this year, part of that, and then Cubit Residential, like is in a TIF, so each year we're gonna get some money out of that project, but it has been pretty good. Also, the other building for Marcotte will be online next year also, so.
Yeah.
We've gotten some, 500,000 in value over the last 2 years from the truck center from Marcotte. And then they redid the car wash across the street also, which they own, so. We've got, and then we also had the corner, which was filled in also. And then, what was the other, yeah, the biggest one for us also was the condos across from going on the entrance to the mall, so,
Right.
yeah. But, you have tear downs of buildings and residential and apartments that go on the wayside, so myself and Debbie on the inspections have lowered a lot of values that way on that side, so that goes into the growth calculations also.
Okay.
Yeah. Counselor Bartley just attended the meeting also, so. Peter?
Yeah, Tony, can you explain a little bit, the tax delinquent accounts, I mean, the treasurer has a lot of buildings in there, a lot of them go up for, sale and stuff. And it seems like we're trying to get a lot of those back on the rolls.
Yeah.
But it takes some time. Do you have any idea of the number of those that have come on that actually added to the?
I think we had between 10 and 15 this year that went on the rolls that were in tax title
Tax
and
title.
then resold. So that helps.
Oh, it
that
does,
helps
yeah.
the value for the city.
Right.
Any one of those that comes online, which was exempt, is part of new growth, so that helps.
Right. And with, of course, I know Mount Tom, we lost a big amount there, but with the solar, is there a set amount that is given now with the solar panels up in that area?
Yeah, that's the same as the megawatts, the two projects on, behind, on Mueller Road and then on Springdale. So those are, it's 5,000 a megawatt. So we're getting the same down there. And also the battery storage down there also.
Down there also.
Those are at 5,000 a megawatt also.
Okay. And was there anything we talked about with I think it was last year with the lines, was it the phone lines or the gas lines that we were supposed to get something, was that last year?
We did,
Kind
and
of.
we gave 325, or no, 352 last year. That was from our abatement account
Right.
that we gave back to the city.
Okay.
And hopefully, depending on our overlay and abatements, we'd give another 75 back this year, which would have totaled what we had taxed out, so,
With that,
what we put away.
we put away, yeah, yeah. Okay, and I missed it a little bit earlier, I guess I was a little bit late, but the average on the homes, single family,
Yeah, there's a sheet in there, and it has the, every value for the.
have most of them,
Single
single
family,
family?
two family, and three families combined, and then it has the value of commercial, industrial, with and without the mall.
Okay,
If you go, keep on going for the.
right, with that, with the other ones, right.
Yeah,
So those are the average,
yeah,
Parcels
those are
and-
set in stone for this year. All the figures you see in front of you that, in the packet, have been certified by the state.
by the state, okay. And could you explain a little bit too, again, what you said earlier, and, you know, for the public about not knowing the free cash?
Right.
We really can't do anything with the tax rate.
Until the budget is balanced, then you would arrive at a tax rate, and then you can vote on the tax rate. So once the free cash is certified, it'll be, it should be 2 votes, and then you can vote on the tax rate. But I'll have figures once that balance,
Once that is done,
Yeah.
have that to us, and we
Yes.
could,
yes.
so hopefully we won't be in the situation as last year, but hopefully we can get that before the end of December.
We're hoping too, because, we did have significant increases overall for all the homes. So we'd like to get those bills out in January, so that, the bills are split up in 2.
Right,
Our office will take the brunt of it, but, it's part of the job, and we have to do and filter out and figure out what we need to do for certain abatement applications.
right. Is there a set date that we have to have this into the state that, last year we had, let's say it was December 26th or so. Is there a set date that we have to have this all done with the tax rate and as the free cash is certified before we can send it the tax
Second.
bills?
Yeah, the second, I'm not sure, when would be the second meeting for December? It's,
Be like the 18th, I think,
even if you voted.
19th? I think it's the 19th of
If you
December.
voted on that night, I think it would still be viable for us to get the bills out.
Yeah, because that's the important thing,
Yeah.
getting them out on time and in the mail, get them
Yeah. We
done
would
with
have
the,
We would have enough time to get all the bills ready, submit all the stuff to the state, because everything's already set right now for us. And it's just a matter of fact of, and I'm sure Bellamy is working with the new auditor, and they've expressed that they've already sent a lot of stuff to the state already for, final certification.
right, yeah, we did have her here last
Yeah.
night for a meeting, and we did get some indication that they're really working on it to try to get that done soon, because I think that's important of what happened last year with everybody not sending their money in on time, and then having to borrow money to keep the city going. Hopefully, we can get this taken care of earlier this year and get it certified so we can set the tax rate and get the bills out. I think that's key,
Yeah.
But thank you.
Tony, when you mentioned the abatement amount, does that, when you talk about the abatements, does that include write-offs for bad debt, ones that were just uncollectible?
No, the abatements are, the write-offs are totally separate. That comes out of Kate in the treasurer's office. So those are almost like bills, and I'm sure there's money that's put away every year for bad money that we have to collect.
Right. And the pilots we talked about, like the solar fields, they're in lieu of taxes, so they're not reflected in this tax base?
That's correct.
Is that something that can be changed, or is that something that should be included in the tax base?
The state, we had a couple that were online with the G&E projects, and the state went back. They said, no, just do it as an in lieu of. So they want the projects as an in lieu of, because you're setting your own, percentage or money that they have to pay, so it's not a set valuation.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. I just wanted to mention Josie Valentine attended the meeting also. Joe?
Tony, just a question. My understanding is free cash has been submitted to the state, and we're expecting or hoping to get a certification sometime next week. What are the next steps in terms of the balancing the budget and being able to decide if we want to take advantage of tax classification?
I would say that if, with the money that we have and can generate through the taxes and with free cash, I'm not sure what that figure is going to be. You would just have to figure out just the transfers to balance the budget. And then once that balanced budget is submitted, then with votes, then you can vote on the tax rate also. So if you were to have it by next week, you could do the votes for the transfers.
On the 18th.
Yeah, or you could start the 4th for budget transfers, if he has them submitted
Right,
for
we'd
the
have to have
4th.
them from the mayor.
Yeah, and then what happens then is then we would vote on the tax rate on the 18th. Or if everything went well, you could also vote on it that night. But if I have those figures, I can submit all that stuff to you guys for your vote. So if I have everything in my hands for submission to the state for the Department of Revenue, then I can give you the scenarios on which to vote.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the 18th is still good for us because everything else would, fall into place and we could have, submit this stuff to the Department of Revenue for certification and then get the bills ready and then be out for January 1st. And that's why this meeting was important for us to get this out of the way, and then you guys can do your work and, deciding what the tax rate would be and the transfers.
Yeah. Well, we're partway there.
I know. I know. It's always a burden though, you have to get everything together and do it, and it's tough decisions. I say it every year. There are some tough decisions that need to be made,
So just a technical question. On the front sheet where you show that the levy ceiling, wait, maybe it was the second sheet, the second page in, where you show that the levy limit and the levy ceiling are the same, is that just because the levy limit has not hit the ceiling, so they're reflected the same?
If you do the total value times 2.5%,
Yep.
that's going to give me that levy limit right there, the 53,918, and that's
Okay.
what we're going to collect.
Okay.
So that's the total 2.5%. I mean, we could have collected all that if our values allowed us to. We did go up significantly, but if we were above the values we have now, we could have maybe collected that 54 number, which is on the left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Counselors? Anybody? No? All right, we want to thank you for coming and.
Oh, one more.
Oh, Carl, go ahead.
I was just patiently waiting for,
Well, you could have went first, out
of respect to our esteemed leaders. Is this on?
No, I don't think it is, no. The switch there should be somewhere.
There
There you
it
go.
is. There it is.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Assessor, the city councilors present. I didn't plan on speaking. My name is Carl Eager. I'm privileged to serve in various capacities within our city, both on the private as well as the public sector. I think I would be remiss if I didn't state an important fact. It's not unknown to all of us here present. New growth is going to be critical for our city of Holyoke's future, at least financially speaking. And I know nothing in this world that doesn't evolve around nothing other than dollars and cents. So that if we're viable financially, we are viably totally. Given that reality, that new growth is triggered by a city that is very limited in its land mass, unfortunately, which means there are those pieces of property that are vacant that will require possibly zone changes. We all know, and I've sat there, as you all do on the city council, the most agonizing decisions that have to be made are during zone changes. Hopefully, and with all due respect, I was very proud of this city council as to how we dealt with the Lynch School. It was not very easy to be able to come forth and have to vote on that issue, but nonetheless, you stood the test and you proved it worthy for that new growth for the city of Holyoke. There'll be other times that'll come in the future. I just hope that we will understand that the criticalness is at what cost, for what benefit. Simply put, that we will have new growth. And with the new growth, we will have that financial viability to be the best city going in all the Western Mass, quite frankly, Massachusetts, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right. We want to thank everybody for coming. If there's any questions or concerns, you can always call us or even visit, and we'll help you out with anything you need to know. And hopefully with the transfers and the free cash certification, we can have some solid numbers for you within, a couple of weeks before the votes. Thank you. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you.